Hello.
Hey, happy Monday.
Yes, sir.
Merry almost Christmas or happy holidays to
Christmas
to
week.
everyone. Christmas week. It's time. Have you gotten your shopping done?
Everybody's checked out.
Yeah, just about.
Yep.
Okay. How was what happened since last Monday?
More of same.
More of Okay, where's my drink?
I've actually pulled the plug now on 4 AI platforms, I think.
There we go.
Yeah.
You kind of had this swell and then refining it
Well,
back.
it's like I sign up for everything just to kind of like mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting these like $15, $17. And I'm like, what the hell is that even for?
Mm-hmm.
And like there was these ones like Midori and a couple of others. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go back and look and it's like, oh, I was trying to do that one thing that one time.
Yeah, like I needed that little widget to plug.
Yeah. Well, one of them was I was trying to get something where I could put an image of like a still image of Teresa on from one of the podcasts, and then like throw a transcript in, and it would animate out of the, and it's like, not quite
Didn't
there
work.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite there. Which is my takeaway from the vast majority of AA.
Not quite there.
Not
yet.
quite there.
Not quite there. Yeah, the my friend sent me a text last night about AI, who's been like very pro AI, and he was like, this year AI has used as much water as the entire bottled water industry produced carbon pollution on par with New York City. Interesting. I sat down with somebody the other day that was like so anti AI because of the ecological implications.
The footprint, yeah.
Just like they're like it's swallowing up a city, like what they're doing in Michigan, like literally don't have the infrastructure to deliver power to the data center and to the people. And so the prices go up, and guess what? Like the data center is willing to pay more
absolutely.
for that electricity.
Same thing.
So,
I saw something about because I have like 2 computers that are probably, I don't know, in the 5 to 7 year old range.
Yeah.
And I leave them running 24 hours a day. So you're going to get diminishing returns. So they're in the final throes of their lifespan. And it's like, okay, I'm looking, and then somebody was saying like, oh yeah, it wasn't NVIDIA that was quitting, but it was one of the memory essentially there's the personal computer, the PC memory, and then there's the thing now where everybody and their dog is like, oh no, now we're doing GPU memory where it's on top of the graphics, whatever. And 2 or 3 of the other consumer grade were like, we're not doing this anymore. We're just going to focus on making AI chips. So like, well, good luck. Good luck getting a computer that's worth jack shit trying to then run AI even, But the thought of it's swallowing up everything. And the real question is like, for what? Because it's like, okay, yeah, you can make funny pictures and cool stuff artistically once or whatever. But the thing is, it's like it doesn't know what it's doing. Meaning, like like if you ask it to make a thing, it doesn't know what it made, and you can't re-upload that thing and be like, make it more blue or make it less of this. It doesn't see, and so I don't know. Maybe they'll fix all of that, but like right now, it's like, ooh, boy, the hype.
Suffice it to say, we've got a lot of issues to tackle. Both
the hype train
like
is
the
off
technology
the rails.
and then the socioeconomic impact and the social impact.
Well, and then
things
like you said,
that.
the ecological footprint.
And the ecological footprint. So I mean, yeah, it's probably for the next several years going to be a pretty hot button topic. And
then I'm like, wait, shouldn't we all be in virtual reality by now? Wasn't that the
Ready
thing?
Player One style?
Yeah, wasn't that the thing?
I don't want that either. Like I just want I want some of me personally. I just want to create some operational efficiency so I don't have to do the mundane, repetitive stuff all the time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, and creating some systems that work for me.
Right.
AI is not going to replace people. Like it can't enjoy a sunset for me, right?
Yeah.
It can't enjoy
It can't
time.
do push-ups for you.
Yeah, it can't enjoy time with my family. Yeah, it won't help me metabolize that burrito. It's not going to replace me, right? So I have we have to think about that because I keep seeing like AI will replace humans, and I was like, what you mean is AI is going to replace work? And I'm okay with AI replacing work as long as the fruits of that labor, that replacement, go to the right places, because we run a very dangerous game of the wrong people getting the control and the revenue of
which is probably what's
productivity. Yeah, like it's hard to see a scenario right now where that doesn't happen.
Right, I can't imagine that.
Yeah, so I don't want to get all dystopian on us here because
I was raised on 80s sci-fi. That's all there is.
All right, well. So what else happened? Let's see. I went to. I was down in Georgetown.
Okay.
I got to see my brother preach. We did a Christmas thing. That was our first. I said we do kind of a Texas two-step
the tour
all around. So we go down to Georgetown. We're coming back. my wife conceded driving home from College Station on her own. So now we're going to go to College Station. And instead of going College Station back, Houston back, I'm going to go on to Houston, and she's going to go back to College Station. So that saves me like a whole like 8-hour rep.
There we go. Okay.
So we've shortened our Texas two-step.
Nice.
But that was fun. Saturday, I went to Ashley's daughter's birthday party.
Oh, yeah,
So
I saw photos of it. Yes.
Yeah. They had shout out to Sugar Ray's. It's a bakery like right off of like Preston and Spring Creekish. They made this really cool cat cake.
A local candidate if there ever was one.
I mean, I love people that do good work and support local people. So want to say that was really, really awesome. I gave Alex one. Have you ever seen the Hanayama puzzles? You know what I'm talking about?
I have not.
So there are these like kind of high quality metal puzzles. The brand is Hanayama, and they have different skill levels, and I kind of collect them. Like I just like tinkering with that kind of stuff. And so I gave Alex one of those Hanayama puzzles with the intention of like, hey, if you can solve it and prove me that you solve it and put it back together, give it to Ashley. She'll bring it back to me, and I'll swap you one. And I'll give you a new one to play with. Until you decide, like, hey, this is my favorite. I want to use this to give to my friends. But, like, hey, I'll keep swapping you puzzles till the cow comes home. Gives me a reason to buy some new puzzles. Because I probably have, like, 8 or 9, like, on.
Okay. Oh,
like,
so is this like a puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle? Or is this like a puzzle?
It's like have you seen.
Like a logic puzzle.
Like a logic puzzle.
Okay.
Like it might, or no, it's like it's a, let's see, like the metal rings that you have to get apart and back together.
Okay,
but there's like a
gotcha.
more complicated version of that.
Okay.
And just like a real high quality piece of that. So they're just substantial and they feel good. There's one where there's like Zelda sword, like it's a sword in the stone. There's like a sword in here and you have to get the sword out. Well, like in order to do that, there's a lot of things you have to choose and manipulate, hold, turn, spin, and they act on like different principles. So some are like, none of it's force. You never have to push anything like hard. So it has to do with like maybe the way you might spin it, right, to get some like magnets to like detach or something, or you might have to rotate it or put pressure or like simultaneous things. So I like those puzzles. They keep my brain working, and so I thought like
neuroplasticity.
Me and Alex now can have a thing where like she can do a puzzle and I can trade it back. Me and Kat do the same thing at the house. Like I'll buy a new puzzle, she'll do it, I'll do it, and we'll talk about it. Nerd coming out. Sunday when we went to the Cowboys game.
Oh yeah, you were saying.
We took my in-laws are from San Diego, so my mother-in-law has a Charger bolt tattooed on her ankle, signed by LaDainian Tomlinson.
Wow!
So like she saw him at like a signing or something, and he signed her ankle, and she got that tattooed on her ankle. So she's a fan.
Yeah.
So this is like a big going to this game was a big thing. We went to the Charger game I think last year, but it was preseason, so it didn't really mean much.
Yeah.
And at this point in the season, it didn't really mean much for Dallas, to be perfectly honest. Our defense is Swiss cheese. Yeah. Absolute, like
I saw everybody posting, they're out, they're done.
It can't stop anybody. Yeah, like I think, you said now we are
it's
actually eliminated.
mathematically
that's
eliminated.
Fine. It seemed like mid-season we were not going anywhere. We just can't stop anybody. Herbert, it was comical how much time Herbert had in dropping back. He's 0 sacks. One time that I can remember him being remotely hurried out of the pocket.
Wow.
We just know he just had all day, and so the score reflected that.
What was the score?
I forget what was it? 34-17, 31-17. I forget what it was when we walked out. They scored a touchdown late that didn't matter.
Garbage time.
Yeah, exactly. So
I know Dak Prescott, and then there's like CC or CB or I don't know anybody that plays.
CD Lamb.
Yeah, CD.
Yeah, CD Lamb.
Yeah,
George Pickens is on the other side. Actually, Pickens, they picked up a wide receiver this year that's actually had more yards than CD Lamb.
I was going to say CC DeVille, but that's huh? I was going to say CC DeVille, but
no, that's I don't know CC DeVille. What's that?
He's the guitar player for Poison.
Okay, yeah, he probably wasn't out there today. I mean, we've got a great offense, like a really fun offense to watch. And when the offense sucks and the defense kind of sucks, or the offense is great and the defense kind of sucks, it almost makes for fun football because you're racing. You know,
yeah, there is that sort of like give it hell.
Yeah,
see
so
what
part of me
happens.
thinks like is that by design for Jerry Jones? Like, let's keep things exciting, let's keep things close, but let's keep things high scoring.
At this point, I don't know.
Who knows what that guy's up to?
Well, I mean, I watched did you watch the Netflix documentary about Jerry
I watched
Jones?
some of it, and I need to go back. I kind of abandoned.
I watched all except for I didn't watch the last episode because I think that brings it up to like, I don't know, modern times or whatever. But that, like the first 3 or 4 or whatever it was, when it told the actual story about him buying the Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson and all of the footage. So if you were like me and you were a homer back then, it was this absolute treasure trove. It was like the Fort Knox of shit that you never saw before. And it was like the coolest thing ever. And it also just cemented the fact that it's like, I never need to watch another nanosecond of Cowboys football for the rest of my life. And for one thing, it will never be as good as it was then. And that's not just good old day syndrome, but it's like, it's objectively bad now. I don't even know the last time they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would I care? And then just the astronomical cost of whatever it is.
The tickets are ridiculous.
It's just stupid.
Yeah. And we're season I'm a season ticket holder.
Right.
So, and we've got pretty decent seats. Like we're lower level, inside the goal lines. And so when they don't sell, it hurts. And because we started in LL, I've told you.
Oh
this,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You
we
have a little thing where kind of you try to break even or whatever.
Blue Star Seating does sells tickets, and we sell most of the tickets, and we give a handful of them out to some charitable organizations that usually get auctioned off. And the goal is at the end to kind of break even.
And sometimes go to a game here and there.
We go to a game. Like we'll usually go to a preseason game because we can't give them away. And then like here, this was an example where I gifted 2 of my tickets to my mother-in-law and father-in-law, but and we had 2 tickets we sold, and then 2 tickets were kind of sitting out there for sale. Well, once the Cowboys were pretty much eliminated, ticket prices tank. And so you couldn't give those seats away at prior to game time. I mean, we were dropping them to like, usually I wanted to talk about how much. Usually they're pretty expensive seats.
Yeah.
And like when you get them under a couple $100, then you're like, well, I might as well just go because we're way below cost.
Oh yeah.
So like the cost of those seats, there's a certain level that we usually sell them for.
I don't even remember what tickets used to be, because I do remember when I went to the NFC Championship game in the early to mid 90s. I want to say I paid, I don't know, $300 of 1992 money, 1993
That's
money.
pretty expensive. Like you could get in the stadium for $40 now, right? You get standing room only.
Oh yeah.
Which is a way it's more of an advertising thing. When you go on SeatGeek, it's like tickets from $40 get you to click.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But really, you don't get a chair without a couple $100.
Chair costs more.
Chair costs more money, and they get you in there. So my in-laws each had a Bloody Mary. When you go down to the lower level section, there's a bar there. But that bar isn't like the bar up top. It's like top shelf. It's like Maker's Mark and
it's like real
liquors and stuff. Yeah. Like Noel liquors. And so they went and got 2 Bloody Marys. You want to guess how much 2 Bloody Marys cost? $78.
Nailed it.
$78. Crazy prices. So like the thought to pay $40 to go in and stand and walk around in a place where you can only spend astronomical prices on booze and food, to be able to watch at best case, watch it on a big screen. I guess if you're into the atmosphere and if you've got a reason, but man, it's my couch is a real comfortable place to watch a Cowboys game.
I'm now, I'm ready to be old man yelling at clouds or whatever, just because there's absolutely nothing that would get me to spend that kind of money to go somewhere to be inconvenienced. Because that's what it really is. I mean, in my mind, it's like, okay.
Oh, parking's $100 too, by the way. So we have 2 parking passes every game. We sell them between $100 and $115 a piece, and there's SeatGeek taxes on top of that. So you're probably paying $150 for parking, and it's not close. It's a 15-minute walk. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God,
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I would need to be airlifted in there.
Only Jerry. Jerry flies in with his chopper. Jerry's bus pulls in, but that's only like VIP people. Jerry lands with his chopper every time.
That's the decoy.
Yeah,
he's actually coming in.
He comes in like 4 different places.
Yeah,
enough people are mad at him. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a double.
That is like so ridiculous. And even there, if I had unlimited capital, I would still never do that.
Well, that's why. I mean, the stadium is quiet a lot of times because it's these you don't have these die-hard fans everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a lot of corporate, like, hey, I want to close the deal, right? Like, I'm going to give my customer for him and his wife to go to the game. And, you know, they're really Eagles fans, but they'll go for, you know, and then there's a lot of that, a lot of corporate schmoozing and rubbing of elbows.
Well, like that.
We've priced out the fans.
Yeah, that part I understand as far as like the actual business schmoozing part or whatever. That totally makes sense. But I only started going in my early 20s because when I turned 21 is the year that Jerry bought the team, and they were the shittiest team in football. And back then, and I'm sure probably there's still a threshold with, although the way the broadcast is all atomized now, I have no idea. Yeah. But back then, if you didn't sell out, you were blacked out on television.
Yeah.
And so Kroger would buy up all of the tickets that remained and give them away. And so you could literally go to Kroger, you know, an hour before game time and get 4 tickets for free. And so me and my idiot friends at 21 years old, Old Texas Stadium was BYOB.
Yeah.
So we'd go get, I don't advise this for anyone, but we would go and get hammered drunk and park in the far lot where you had to walk over the bridge to get, but that was part of the fun, you know? And then you're carrying the cooler or whatever. And, I didn't expect him to get good. It was just more about the atmosphere and the thing. It was like the fan thing. Everybody's acting like, you know, goofy and drunk and whatever else. And then the next thing you know, 2 years later, they're actually decent. And then bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
And then now, I couldn't even imagine. I make fun of Cruz all the time. I'm like, dude. And then, although I don't get it, he's now a Packers fan. It's like, dude, you cannot go to another NFC team.
You can go hop over to AFC.
Yes.
Go grab the Ravens or something. Somebody we're not going to see until we get to the game.
And it's like, you know, the obvious knee jerk bandwagon would be the Chiefs or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, pick a random AFC team like the Seahawks.
It's got to feel bad to be Chiefs. Like if you jumped on that Chiefs bandwagon, it's running out. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is getting old. And Travis Kelce's getting old. And like, if I'm Travis Kelce, I'm out in 2 years. I'm a Hall of Fame tight end.
Yeah.
My net worth has now gone up once I get married.
Oh, yeah.
100-fold.
Yeah.
And there's
worth $500 million.
Yeah. It's kind of like we were talking about this yesterday. Like Adele announced that, Adele, the singer, she's been doing this. She's
the
a
one
singer.
That used to be.
Yeah, exactly. So Adele, one of the most powerful voices in a long time, like her,
like physically powerful,
like just real, just an amazing voice.
Yeah, like if you hit me over the head with her catalog, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, she decided she's been in a residency in Vegas, I believe, and she's recently decided like she's gone. She's like, I'm going to go raise my kids. And I'm like, why don't we see more?
Yeah, kudos for that.
Are we so hungry for like the attention or like the celebrities? Like, so do you get so into that you can't step away from the spotlight? Because Adele has more money than she can spend. Right. Everybody said, like, kind of Garth Brooks did this too. He's like, I got more money than my grandkids could spend. Like, I'm just going to go do the things that make me happy. And I guess for some of them, what makes them happy is the attention, right?
And then there's like there's nothing worse as a child of the 80s. There is nothing worse than like, okay, I can understand it if you're like Neil Diamond or whatever and you're still singing in your 60s or 70s or whatever, because that's kind of ageless. But if you are Motley Crue, for example, it's like, dude, you guys already retired once, then then you got a replacement for Mick Mars or whatever, and you were icons of my youth, and now you embarrass me. Like you were so cool when I was 15, and like now, I don't know what it would take for me to even give two shits about, and that whole thing of, and now they're going to do a stadium tour, and it's like this ridiculous packaged bullshit, and it's like, I don't need 70-year-old Def Leppard out, telling me about like pour some sugar on me. Like, no, don't.
It's like watching it's like the halftime shows. They bring back like the people that are stumbling around on stage, like geriatric,
right.
Like in a wheelchair. Dolly Parton did the Thanksgiving Cowboys halftime show last year, and that was really good. For Dolly Parton, like, I'm not a big Dolly Parton fan, but it was cool to see like that icon and like,
I do remember that because she wore the cowboy cheerleader outfit or whatever, and everybody had an opinion about that.
Yeah, my wife lost her mind. Absolutely lost her mind.
In a good way.
Oh yeah. She was through the roof. Like she's.
But like there's nothing that is so tied contextually to a time and place as like the Van Halen's or the 80s thing where it was like, you know, when you're in your 20s and live fast, die young or whatever, it's like awesome. However, if you are now in your late 60s and you're trying to sing like,
if that's the same message, it doesn't fly, right?
Like the 68-year-old Vince Neil singing Too Young to Fall in Love doesn't really
doesn't land the same way. Okay,
it's not the same.
Fair enough. Cool. Let's see. What else? I've been on last night my brother-in-law sent me a podcast, which is from and I forget the name of I'll do a disservice if I didn't. It's it's the Jordan Harbinger.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Harbinger?
Yes,
Harbinger. Yeah, I knew I was going to mispronounce that. I don't know anything about Jordan.
It used to be The Art of Charm a million years ago.
Okay, cool.
The original.
So you're familiar with it.
Yes, absolutely.
So me and him were sitting on the couch having long, deep conversations, and we started talking about trust and things like that. And he's like, you got to listen to this podcast just came out. So it's from Jimmy Wales. He is the inventor or founder of Wikipedia, which is when you start studying trust, like that is an anomaly that it's hard to wrap your head around, the fact that we've created this online resource that is completely populated by volunteer content. Volunteers come in and start writing pages, and it has become something that is citable in most like research papers in like high school. Like you can go to Wikipedia, and most people, like if you said, who won the 1984 World Series? I say, is Wikipedia a good source? Right? We'll look it up. Is Wikipedia good? You'd be like, yeah, of course. And for most things that you asked about, unless you get into some really nuanced, complex topics, like you start talking about like Iran and Palestine, or Israel and Palestine, like that's obviously like a touchy subject that has opinions.
There are some things that get editorialized in there.
Yeah, and he talks about that.
Yeah, based on the individuals, and there's a lot of gatekeeper stuff going on. But like what you're talking about, like for as far as like factual information or just I'll do like I just look at dumb shit about like nerd stuff from when I was a kid. Like am I misremember? Like did I remember that correctly or whatever? And then. Ashley and I we did our little thing on Friday, and it was like one of the things with GPT is like you ask it like, what's the weirdest thing I asked you this year? And the weirdest thing for me was, why were there aliens when the $6 Million Man met Bigfoot? Because it was like, did I misremember that? Like, did my 8-year-old brain short circuit or whatever? Nope. That and then it was like this long, patently ridiculous 1970s primetime TV thing where it was like, okay.
This is way over my head. I have no idea what you're talking. The $1 Million Man,
$6 Million Man.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. We can fix him.
Yes,
we have the technology. Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, so he's a cyborg, and then right around that time was the In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy. So I'm like, I'm I don't know, age is like probably, I don't know, 6 to 9 years old or whatever. This whole thing, drive-in movies, Mysterious Monsters, the Loch Ness Monster, this whole thing of like cryptid shit comes in, and I was just ate up with it. It was like, and it was sort of in the zeitgeist. And so then they have the $6 Million Man meets Bigfoot, and Andre the Giant, the wrestler, plays.
So it's
Bigfoot.
Like the mashup. It's like the Marvel DC comic like universe.
Yes,
like
but it was like this weird thing, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, did that really happen? You know what I mean? Like I remember, okay, the Bionic Man meets Bigfoot, and I remember, wasn't it Andre the Giant that played? The wrestler Andre the Giant.
If it's Andre the Giant, I'll go watch that.
Oh, dude, and then it's like this weird thing where Bigfoot is attached to the aliens, and it's like this whole thing, and I was like,
it was a whole movie. It's a whole story.
It was a 2-part episode of the $6 Million Man because it was just ratings bonanza because it was just it's just so ridiculous.
Okay,
but it was one of those things where Wikipedia sorted it out for me.
There we go. So anyway, I've been on kind of this trust kick because what we're doing here at Be Local is very much a trust play for most of our people, right? Like we are creating a trusted resource that people are excited to get and use. And so I've just kind of been exploring like what builds trust and what destroys trust, and how can we be intentional about building, nurturing, maintaining high levels of trust. So anyway, this obviously really got me. Because I always say, like, there's 2 things we need to do. I've said this for years and years and years. I was like, it's super simple in my business: communication, execution, and time. Right. Yep. So there's 3 components. It's communicating what you're going to do, that is usually, I say the most important thing is setting expectations about what their experience is going to be. And I tell that to Rebecca or anybody that ever works for me, like, hey, we over-explain ad nauseum, like to the point where they're like, stop, I get it. So that when we go through the process, like they understand what
Nobody's
to
surprised.
expect. Nobody's surprised when they're going to get their content or what the shoot's going to look like, how long it's going to take, what the portal is, right? Like that is something. Communication, 100%. And then execution, repeatedly, do what you say you were going to do, right? Like give that experience builds trust, and that's and then obviously you need time to let that bake, time over time, repetition, right? And I thought I was doing really, I like kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like I was like, I got it, right? And I feel like I missed, now listening to this podcast, I was like, man, I'm kind of missing some pieces of this because perfect is weird.
Yes.
Right? Like the idea that like you're going to knock it out of the park 100% of the time is weird. And nobody does that. If you present yourself as someone who never fails or never has a hiccup, like that's weird.
It's unrealistic.
You diminish trust because because we have this kind of negativity bias, right? Like built into our lizard brain.
A survival mechanism.
Like we default to like, what am I not being shown?
Yeah. What am I missing?
Yeah, obviously I'm not seeing it all because systems don't operate flawlessly.
Right.
So one of the keys that Jimmy, Wikipedia founder, put out there was like transparency over like communication's important, but transparency, especially when it's inconvenient for you to be transparent. So when you have something to hide, or like when
you would normally have something to
through
hide.
The process, and that's, do the right thing when it's hard type of thing. I mean, like we all say some version of this and we probably all know this, but it's something to really internalize and start thinking about, like when you're, it's usually the hardest part of being a business owner and the hardest part of your interpersonal relationships, right? Is being transparent when it's hard, when you really don't want to tell somebody why you didn't get something done or why something happened, is sideways, because it makes you vulnerable, but vulnerability builds trust.
Yep.
Right? As long as you continue, you have a willingness to get it right. And you show somebody, like, here's what happened, here's, why, let me show you why it happens if you care to know. And here's how we're going to go make it right.
And here's how we will fix it.
That builds more trust than just knocking it out of the park every time.
And the other thing I find is, too, when, like, something goes sideways or shit's the bed, most people in today's world are prepared for a fight. They're not prepared for you to admit that you dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they come in, and that's another. Go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought here.
A lot of times it is so disarming to be like, oh yeah, that's on me. Where they were expecting like some sort of convoluted 7-layer burrito of excuses or whatever, and then if you immediately, this is a recovery thing where it's like, or that's where it came from for me or for me was. The minute that I realized, like, whoop, that's on me, it's like, it's way easier to get out in front of that to be like, wow, I totally effed that up, and then people don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, because most people's default position when attacked is to defend.
Yeah, right? And to blame or deflect.
Yeah, deflect, defend. Yeah,
whatever it
deny,
takes.
Deflect,
whatever it takes.
Which is interesting because what was his other point? One of Jimmy's big points, more organizationally, for building trust is operating from a position of assuming good faith.
Yes.
From the other party, right? Like somebody comes into you and is like, I forget, like whatever major complaint we have here. I don't even know what people normally complain about these days. But like, somebody comes in and is like, somebody didn't show up, somebody didn't do something, like, or something where they're wrong. Like they fundamentally don't understand.
Yeah.
And like our instinct is to come back and defend that, right? Instead of seeking to understand like where that's coming from and like, hey, this person isn't trying to pull one over on me, which we also can easily default to. Like somebody's trying to trick me.
Human nature is what it is.
So like that is a really important key to building trust is operating from a position that everyone is acting in good faith until they show you otherwise. And so that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of us to do.
Absolutely.
It's really easy to just be honest. Like, we can be honest, but then when we think other people aren't being honest,
and that's
still acting like they are is tough.
And it's especially depending on how many times you've actually been burned. Because if you exist in a silo, you never really interact with people. All right, well then, rarely, if ever, are these things going to be an issue. But if you are in a relationship business universe, this shit is going to happen all the time. And then it's going to be like, because there are always, over time, you get you see the number comes up and you're like,
somebody calls and you're like, I know they're about to, beat me down.
Right. Right. Or both barrels, about to get it. And it's exactly what you said. If you can be transparent and or considerate, empathetic or whatever, when the other person is objectively incorrect or mistaken, without getting, into that, stance of, okay, the Kung Fu stance or whatever. And then, what I would, tell the guys that work for us, it's like, yeah, you can win the argument here and now or whatever, but then what?
We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
You're like, being right isn't always right.
It's like, then what? And sometimes it's not even about the thing, or most of the times it's not about the thing that they're twisting off about. It's like something that they are usually not wanting to talk about or pretend, it's something that they don't want to talk about or don't feel comfortable about, that's, tearing the ass out of them in private. But you're a stationary target, so you're getting fists, they're throwing hands, and it's like, okay, well, that's gonna happen, and your reaction is gonna dictate what it looks like later on, and then if you do the deflect, defend, or whatever.
Back to like the perfect thing, like you have a huge opportunity to build trust when you've dropped the ball, right? How you respond to that, because if I'm batting 1,000 and we've had 40, 50 transactions, in the back of my mind, like, I'm due for something to go wrong. It's a matter of time, and because you've never mucked it up,
right,
we don't know how you're going to respond to that. Right. So it's almost valuable in order to build trust that, like, when something happens that is not perfect, that you get on it, you're transparent about it, you show an effort to get it right. And that response builds more trust than
well, it's like you said, it's an opportunity.
Good. Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
It's also it is an opportunity that you would never wake up wanting to go and actually get.
Yeah, we're not looking for it, but when it happens, we have to be prepared to respond in a specific way. Thing. Yeah, it's totally a mindset thing. And then neutrality being important, like us calling balls and strikes here, even when it's like not to our advantage, right? Sometimes when we're talking about like AI things, we're like pitching like how you can leverage AI, and like sometimes it sucks and it falls on its face, and we got to call it out. So like, it's making stuff up. It doesn't work the way you want it to work.
Right.
Even though we've been talking about this is the way we want it to be, and we probably have said something a month ago that was blatantly wrong once we tested it.
Categorically incorrect.
Yeah, like just didn't work the way we had envisioned, hoped, planned, tried, whatever. So being able to call balls and strikes, especially when and being like an impartial knowledge sharer is really important, and Jimmy, the Wikipedia man, kind of has to deal with this all the time, right? How do you be the central, this kind of like neutral arbiter,
especially whenever you're kind of presenting yourself as an authority, because, okay, now that's one of the reasons why I would never claim to be an authority on anything. Certainly not to the level where I would say like, oh, I'm an expert at X or whatever. It's like, I know enough to be dangerous about a lot of stuff. And then there's other stuff where I'm like, I don't know, dude. It kind of seems like this, but maybe not.
Well, like, okay, so it would be much, this is also on the podcast. I can just pull little nuggets out of this podcast. I would prefer, if like we're talking about our large language models and like ChatGPT and prompting it, and he goes deep into like when it starts, when you can prompt it and it's going to give you can trust the results, and when it's going to start making stuff up, because we have both seen ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, all of them just BS you, like literally give you false information in order to fulfill the
guardrails. And now like GPT is, it almost has overcorrected for all the ridiculous lawsuits and all the things that have been, negatively attributed to it. But it has this guardrail of almost not wanting to say anything that could be interpreted as actionable or bad advice. And so it errs on this really weird Pollyanna side of things where I'm like, that cannot possibly be true. And it's like, oh yeah. And then the thing that really pisses me off about it is, oh yeah, good for you to catch that or whatever.
Oh yeah, great catch, man. Yeah, I was like, no, I shouldn't have to catch it.
Whoa, wait. It's like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be just giving me data. You know, I don't need you to interpret and filter the data like you're my mom. You know, like, oh, it's like having an overprotective mom where it's filtering things. Well, the reason I said that is because this and this. And it's like, if people actually saw the way I interact with GPT, dude, I would be up for like serious psychological considerations just because I will rail at it. And, you know, there might be a 27 word reply that I give it, and
the robots will be coming for you first.
Oh, dude, 13 of those start with the letter F.
Okay.
where
like
I literally, and then I would be like, explain yourself. Give me the programmatic guardrails that prevent you from doing this. Why are you causing this? At what point did you think it was beneficial to say this? Because I want to know why it's doing what it's doing.
You're studying it.
Oh yeah. And then, because like the fascinating thing for me is, first off, the further down you go into a rabbit hole where you need precision, the worse it gets. Yeah. And the other thing
or
is,
an obscure concept, any sort of like yeah, exactly. If you need to be super precise, or if the
longer the thread gets, because it doesn't even have the ability to look 3 prompts ago at what you said. And unless you do like a hard and fast rule every time you start another prompt, like keep in mind, yada, 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 XYZ, don't drift, no confabulation, no paraphrasing. So then you literally have to like kind of come up, back this way, like you're teaching it to walk. And that gets frustrating.
Oh yeah.
And then
now what takes more time, right?
Yes.
Teaching,
right.
Teaching it to walk or just doing it yourself.
And don't even get me started on uploading files and stuff like that. Because it's like, it has OCR recognition, but it will not automatically upload and read every screenshot. It'd be like, oh, I didn't know you wanted me to do that this time.
It calculates our Yahtzee score really well. Me and Kat have been playing Yahtzee at night sometimes, and we'll like, we just don't want to add it up.
Well, now
take a picture and we'll be like, calculate my Yahtzee.
Well,
won.
and I actually did use it for that whenever I was doing the upstairs bathroom. So I had a stack of tile in the garage. There was replacement tile for the ceramic stone stuff upstairs. And I took a shot of the tile from like 4 different angles so it could see how many were there. And then I took a bunch of different angles of the upstairs bathroom and I put all of those in because it'll allow 10 images at one time. And I was like, those are 1x1 tile that I have on hand. That's approximately a 26-inch vanity or whatever, blah, 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 for scale. And calculate, is there enough tile to redo the upstairs bathroom? You know, and then if not, tell me how many and how short it will be or whatever. And then it calculated everything out and it said you should have 2 tile left over. And that's exactly what it is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but if it was wrong, it would only take, like with us, our Yahtzee scores, we took 10, 15, 20 different Yahtzee game pictures and it nailed it every single time. It only took one time for us to do it and for it to say, like, totally give us a different score. And now we've got to add it up. Now we have to check its work. Right?
That's the other thing.
Because Kat was like, I don't think that's right. Like, it didn't give me my bonus. Like, it was like wrong about, like, it didn't give me my Yahtzee bonus here. And I was like, okay. So we like added up and we're like, you're right. It didn't give you your Yahtzee bonus. And so now every time we do it, we have to go down.
Boy, that's the thing that pisses me off the most is where if I have to check your work, well, then what good are you?
Yeah.
And, you know, we live in this moment now where everything's AI and it's just going to be so magical or whatever. And it's like, yes, if I want to have, so like one of the things, so like I'm cat sitting or whatever. And so this cat is like a dictatorial overlord of my condo now. And so I was like, I said, like, this is like, I live with Chairman Meow. You know? And then so I jump on AI and I was like, give me an orange cat dressed like Chairman Mao. And it comes back and it gives me like 4 things that are awesome.
Yeah.
Now I can't edit or refine any of those, but I can still do iterations. But like for that, it's awesome. But in the grand scheme of things, what use is that?
Yeah.
You know?
We're having fun. It's a distraction.
Yes.
So, I mean, when we're neutrality being important, especially like when you have a position of authority, when people see you not necessarily advocate for yourself or call balls and strikes when, you know, it lands at your feet and like it hits you in the foot, like when it's not good for you. is important. I was thinking about the way we do a lot of these subject matter experts interviews.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Brian and Scott that come in here for the A-Action inspections. And what you don't hear them ever do is talk about who they are, what they're doing, why they're, use A-Action inspections. We're the best.
Yeah.
Right? They are literally just sharing information in their brain that you probably don't know.
Expertise, and doing it with no guarantee of payback.
No call to action, no return required. Like, here, let me put this knowledge out. I've got experience that's valuable to a certain non-zero number of people watching, and let me share that without advocating for something that benefits me directly, right?
Yes, and without that being the prime mover on why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, everybody's doing that on some level.
Yeah.
But there is such a delta between those guys that are salesy no matter where they're at, and everything's transactional. It's about close the deal, get a deal, always be closing, versus somebody that is just on board with the process and then becomes organic. And if enough people see you, the people that need what you do will see you. You just got to exponentially, you got to keep that going, because if you don't do it, I guarantee you nobody will see. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the thing I love about what we're doing. And then, so Corey and I met with, this is so crazy because I've been Googling for, I hate seeing my hard living wrinkles and shit in 4K.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so Corey hits me up last week. We go and meet one of the guys that came up in AI as the guy to fix it. And so we go and meet, and I'm like, wait, what? And because Corey didn't know exactly who we were meeting, we were just there, and I'm like, dude, this guy came up in my search. It's like AI recommended him to fix my shit, and it blew me away whenever he automatically knew exactly like what we were talking about in the whole 9 yards, and obviously he's an expert. If AI recommended him for the thing that I wanted, but then it was like all of these roads came together, and it was like, well, perhaps we could work out a barter system. So I say all that to say, like, knock wood, in 2026, I might be documenting getting your under eye bags done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a trade off.
Okay. Well, I've got some my cat makes me do, because I do the same. I don't sleep enough, and so I get these dark circles under my eyes. And we have some ointment that I put on my under eye every night.
Right on.
Now.
Yeah,
So I participate in that.
I have bought that stuff. The truth is, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
Or like I'll do it for a week and then I won't. And so the thing for me was like, okay, well, I'm just going to look to see, what's the cost, what's this, what's that, what's the other thing, and I shit you not, it was like boom, fell out of the sky, and I'm like, hey, dude. And for me, it's like, well, I didn't get sober till I was 36. So it was like, there's a lot of miles on the whole engine, and I was just profound. I was toxic, like physically toxic, not like toxic masculinity. Well, I probably got some of that too, but I was physically toxic for decades, and on the verge of poisoning myself every day. So it's going to leave a mark, and so that's the other thing where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can work this into the whole trusted, like the whole, well, he's a subject matter expert. He can come in and do the content, but also it's like, I'll roll the dice and be like, look, dude, I'll be your pinata.
Yeah. This is something I'm dealing with. Like, I'll go ahead. Let's do it. That would be an interesting to do.
That was my thought. We'd do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram. Document. I mean, there's targeted altruism. Like with some of the local stuff, when I'm talking to people, it's like, yeah, I want to go do good in the community. I also want to showcase you guys doing good in the community, because I want the people that are coming in to connect with the right businesses, so they thrive here.
Yes.
The businesses, rising tide, all boats.
Bingo.
Anyway, we'll talk more about that probably next week. Are we doing next week?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Next Monday?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. See you Monday?
Yeah.
All right, take care. Merry Christmas.